What if I told you there is a simple hack that will help you reduce how much pornography you watch over time? It's not NoFap, it's not no PMO, it's not going cold turkey, and you can try it without too much effort. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about this simple method, which is quite powerful, but not many people talk about it. Hi everyone, my name is Dimitri. I'm a psychotherapist and a recovered addict to sex and pornography, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about this simple method which is quite powerful. Alright, so this method is maybe something that you haven't tried yet on your journey to quitting pornography. It is not cold turkey. I'm not going to tell you and quit pornography from the get-go from one day to the next. That method is very hard, and it's a method that if it hasn't worked over time is not going to work any better in the future. So remember that the goal here is not to quit pornography overnight, which is a goal that is way too hard and that is not realistic, but the goal is to get better. The goal is to get better with pornography over time. So this is not a sprint that you're running and you spend a month without pornography and you're free from the rest of your life. I would like to tell you that this is the best method to do it, and it turns out that it's not. You are running a marathon where you have to be intelligent and resourceful about the way you quit pornography over time. So this method alone may be sufficient or it may be insufficient, and depends on your type of personality and how you relate to pornography, but it will work well with people who understand that small positive steps are better than a huge deployment of energy for a little good, and people who like to see a regular progression over time, which again is the correct mindset to quit pornography successfully. In traditional psychology, this method is called tapering. I like to call this method the method of quotas. So let me explain how to do this. Instead of the typical streak that most people try to engage in, which is however many days you have spent without watching pornography, and then eventually there is a relapse and you lose all of that, what we're going to do here is to keep a score and keep tabs with a simple number. And that number you're going to decide at the beginning of the month. And that's going to be the number that you allow yourself to watch pornography in the month. All right, so depending on your addiction or attachment to pornography, this may be a big number to start with or a smaller number. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is that this number is going to go down every month. So you're going to start by allowing yourself to watch pornography a reasonable amount, pretty much close to your current consumption. You can add a bit of a crank to that and reduce it a bit. And then every month, you're going to reduce that number of times that you're allowed to watch pornography. So for example, let's say Dimitri some years ago, maybe 10 years ago, if I'd watched pornography every day, so it would be 30 times a month. So I'm going to start at 20 times a month. And I'm going to say, I'm going to watch pornography only 20 times a month. One time is one day. Or you can make it a session. It's up to you. But let's say one time is one day. So a day when you have watched pornography is one. And then you're going to add up. Each time you watch pornography, you make a little record somewhere. Or every time you have not watched pornography, you make a record either way. And then you add up the days. So if I'd set a quota for 20 for myself when I was addicted, and I'd spent 21 days watching pornography, I would not have met my quota. But I wouldn't quite call this a fail though, because if I was watching pornography every day and I brought myself to 21, it's still a lot better, 20 than 30. It's 2/3 of the time. But let's say, you want to aim and meet the goal of 20, and let's say I've had a good month and I only watched 20 times pornography that time. I was pretty severely addicted. So 20 might feel like a big number right now, but at the time that was good for me. Then I reached that goal of 20, and then that's good. Then at the end of the month, I can revise that number and I say, did I meet my goal or did I not meet my goal? If I've aimed for 20 and I've reached 20, I said, well, I'm doing good. I'm going to add a bit of a crank to this. I'm going to crank it down to 15 times. 15 times allowed to watch pornography next month or on the first of the month, and see how I go with that. If I aim for 20 and I did 25, I said I'm going to stick to a goal of 20 and try to match that goal the next month. And do that every month. All right, so 20, maybe a little bit of a big score. Maybe something more realistic for standard pornography addiction will be around 10 would be a good place to start. If you're watching pornography casually, but you're pretty attached to it, but it's not a full-blown addiction, you're just trying to reduce and things like that, 10 is a good score. You're allowed to watch pornography 10 times throughout the month. And every time you watch it, you mark a little bar somewhere on your calendar, or every day you don't watch it, you mark a calendar on your, make a bar on your calendar, and you count the days like that. So that's the quota. 10 is the quota. If you meet the quota, if you watch pornography 10 times or less, then next month you're gonna shrink down that number to maybe 8. You wanna reduce by 10-20% every month. Not more than that. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard and you're going to feel really discouraged. The goal is that you feel good about yourself, you're seeing good progress, and these baby steps are driving you in the right direction. If you can't meet your goal of 10 and you watch pornography 15 times, then say, okay, next month I'm going to aim for 10 again and try to get better. So that's the method itself. That's tapering. That's the method of the quotas. It's very easy to keep track. It's very easy to apply. And you want to apply this method for something like 3 to 12 months. You're going to see good results from the first month. The first month when you meet your quota and you're going to go down for the next month, it feels really exciting. It's really encouraging. So you're going to see results from as soon as you decide to choose this method. But then you're going to need to put a bit of time into this. So what are some common obstacles in this that, we're talking about a 3 to 12 months progression, so this may feel like a slow progression. In fact, it's just a realistic progression to quit pornography, but it may feel like a slow progression. In this method, we're only tackling behavior, all right? We're only tackling behavior. We're only tackling what we do with pornography, which is one aspect of healing an addiction, but is not the most efficient aspect. It's more something you want to do at the end of your healing than at the beginning of your healing. And behavior is one of the 6 pillars of recovery and healing in my perspective. The other ones being healing our wounds, changing our behavior, making our life better, making our sex life better, reducing stress, and there's always a 6th one that I forget. And the last one being reducing shame and allowing yourself to talk about the addiction. All right, so behavior is just one pillar out of this and is not the most efficient pillar to work with from the start. But if that's what most people do from the get-go, and so if you need to have tools to approach your behavior and that's what you desire to do, then you have this method now. In this method, you're not really learning a whole lot about yourself. You're observing yourself over a long time frame, so that's really helpful. And you start to get a bit of a pattern and statistics of how much pornography you're watching. And what we really care about is why you're watching pornography in the first place. But at least you start to be in this approach of observing yourself. And if you're feeling ready to start a process to quit pornography that is going to take you 3 to 12 months, then you're doing really good. You have the good mindset to solve that problem of pornography in your life. If 3 to 12 months feels too long, any method that you're going to apply for less than 3 months is very unlikely to be successful. Even if you have a good streak, even if you're doing well, it'll be just a good phase. But as soon as there's going to be some imbalance in your life, things are going to crumble down again. So in a way, this method is the best of the worst methods because I don't advocate for methods that are only based on behavior. But if you have to pick one, if you want to pick one and you try this one, then this one is probably the best to try. It's something you can do on your own. It's free of charge. You can just do it anytime you want and you will see progress and you will see that number go down and you'll get that really positive feeling from seeing that. So it's something a bit new to try out if you haven't tried and you want to stick to methods that are based on behavior. Now, that approach may not work for everyone, and personally, it's not the one I use to quit pornography, nor the method I use with my clients systematically. If you want to know more about how I quit pornography in 6 months and the method I used, watch this video right here.